Yo, what's up guys? Alex here again from Elite Football Conditioning, and in this video today I'm going to be talking to you about 3 of the key things you can affect when it comes to preventing hamstring injuries. Obviously that's been my theme over the last few weeks. In the last video I recorded or posted out, I was speaking to you about using your emotions to trigger a response, and it's something that's featured in quite a few of the conversations I've had lately, where a lot of the time we seem to be victims of our emotions, or our emotions dictate our actions, which is typically the way it works. Like most people, it's what happens. You feel a certain way, you behave in accordance with that. However, it is a two-way street. It's not all one way. So I spoke to you about using your emotions and trying to develop a trigger, whether it means, whether it's just getting angry, using that frustration and irritation from an injury that you've had, or a setback, or something that hasn't gone your way, using that anger and aggression and turning it into positive action. And the reason that I pick that emotion is because whenever you're angry or frustrated, I know it works for me for a fact, it creates energy, it creates that spark and that buzz that you need to actually initiate some form of action and generate forward momentum. And then, once you've overcome that initial stumbling block, again, it's just to get you going. Once you've overcome that initial stumbling block, things smooth out a little bit and you can develop a bit of a rhythm, you can develop positive behaviors, and you can start moving forwards. So have a little think about some of the things that are going on for you at the minute. If it's not all going your way, what can you use? What emotions can you trigger and mentally create in order to move yourself forward? So, for instance, for me today, I don't know why everyone always thinks that working out is the easiest thing in the world for me, and it's something that I love and enjoy doing all the time. It's not true. It is not true. I'm tired. I've had a hard day. It's been a long day. Don't feel sorry for me. I feel drained. And if I'm being honest, I was recently just at home. I could have happily stayed there, had a lie down, gone to sleep. But instead, I decided I needed to come in and do this. What did I do? Created those emotions required to get my butt in the car and get here to record this video and get a workout done as well. So use the emotional tools you have at your disposal. You will have them. It can work, and it works both ways. So if it controls you one way, if it can send you into a state of relaxation and lethargy, you must have something that can push you the other way. All right, and I'll give you an easy one. If you have been injured before, if you've ever suffered in any way, take yourself back to that time when you experienced a lot of either pain or frustration, irritation, annoyance towards something. Put yourself in that little mental headspace, take yourself there, and use it to move yourself forward. All right, so hopefully that's a nice little tip to get you going, and I feel like it runs on well from last week. So, as I said, today we're going to cover the 3 main things that you can affect when it comes to preventing hamstring injuries. And ultimately, this also boils down to having a good long career, being fit, being healthy for as long as you possibly can. And it transcends other areas of fitness, not just specifically hamstrings, but I will be posting you will get some little snippets of exercises on the back of this video. So make sure you watch this all the way through to see some of those exercises. Now, number 1, the first thing that we want to look at, fiber length and elasticity. So if your hamstring is, let me delve into my little bag of goodies here. If your hamstring is already tight or it's really, really stiff, simply stretching it further is going to cause problems. So this is where you need to go and look back at the video I recorded previously about releasing other areas so you can develop that little bit of stretch, a little bit of pliability into the hamstrings, and they're not just locked on all the time. And then you can begin to stretch them. You can then begin to treat them as if they're a muscle for you to contract and relax and generate more and more mobility through. So create the mobility required. That Foam rolling, trigger point releasing, getting a massage, simply stretching after a hard training session or after you've played, certainly after match play, very, very useful in getting you back and recovered as quickly as possible. So, number one, increase that fiber length and elasticity of the musculature itself. So be mobile. Number two, and this is probably the king and the pinnacle, the foundation for nearly everything related to fitness, be strong. Being strong is the foundation for you to be able to continuously run and run harder and run faster. Being strong means you can get yourself out of chairs easily, you can get yourself off the toilet, you can climb stairs, you can jump, you can sprint, you can change direction. If you haven't got the physical strength to be able to handle that, you're going to crumble. Okay, so be strong, get the hamstrings as strong as you can. And that's I'm not necessarily just going to stick to isolating hamstrings here, but your calves, which also help flex at the knee. Obviously, hamstrings are going to help flex at the knee, extend at the hip. Your glutes, main hip extensors, they're essentially your engine that are going to drive you and propel you forwards and absorb a lot of force in and around the hip. Be strong as hell. There is no negative side effect to being strong. All right, I think a lot of people get this backwards in their own head where they think being strong means you're big and bulky. Not necessarily. If you're mobile, if you're fast, if you do a lot of sprinting, if you do a lot of endurance work as well, being strong simply helps to improve the rest of it. All right, so number one, increase fiber length and elasticity. Be mobile. Number two, be strong as hell. Number three, work on your running mechanics. So most of the time, that's when hamstring injuries are going to occur. They're going to occur at high speed, and high speed is one of the key reasons for that injury in the first place. So they're going to occur at high speed. If you get out of position in your sprinting, if you overextend and hit the ground way in front, you're putting a big braking force through the floor, through your leg, your hamstrings at full stretch, and if it's too much to handle, if it's not strong enough, that's when the damage happens. So work on your running mechanics, work on your posture, your foot placement, your positioning, the overall pattern in which you're cycling through. Work on all of those things, get them in the right point, get them in the right places, and you will have the capabilities of taking advantage of that strength, your mobility, and your speed. All right, so very, very simply, be mobile, be strong, move well, be efficient with your movement. Don't get out of position. Improve those three things and you will take care of the vast majority of problems and ultimately reduce the overall likelihood of ever suffering a hamstring injury. Here are a few little exercises that I like to use to help create that mobility, develop that strength, and ultimately improve those running mechanics. Take a look, let me know what you think. If you've got any questions or if there's anything else you want to know in regards to other injuries and reducing the likelihood of those, shoot me a message and I'll make sure I record that video as soon as possible rather than for you having to, wait for me to eventually get around to doing it because I decide to do something else. This content is for you. Hopefully you're enjoying it.